These are 5 tips that I have learned with great expense over my life as an entrepreneur. I've seen it work for other companies. I want it to work for you. Let's get into it. Your hustle has gotten you to 6 figures. Now you want to go to 7 and 8 figures. How do you get there? The answer is process and systems in place. Things that are repeatable, that you know are repeatable, and that you test for their repeatability. That's how you get to those figures. And you do it by applying process consistently. You will find that if you don't, you'll be running in circles. You'll think you'll be less busy if you don't pay attention to these processes. You're absolutely wrong. These processes will make your life smoother. You will spend far less time correcting mistakes. And you'll spend far more time growing the company to that 7 and 8 figure number. If your hands have to be on every part of the business, you don't own a business. You are the business. Learn to delegate and transfer responsibility to the people who work for you. Document how your processes work. You want to know where did you fail and where did you succeed, so that the next time around, that customer, that client, that product development will go more smoothly. Learn to transfer to people the things that are their responsibilities, and then let them do their job. Give them the responsibility, and then give them the authority to meet that responsibility. It isn't your job, it's theirs. If they're not doing a good job, get rid of them. But if they are doing a good job, let them do it. And you will find you have more time to do other things. Consider McDonald's. How did it become successful? It standardized its process. It made the same product everywhere around the world, and it proved to be extremely successful. Learn to follow their example, not because they're cheap, but because they're effective in growing, and growing immensely over the years. You want to be able to follow that. And the secret to doing that is a consistent process that you follow. That is modified as you learn more things about your market, about your customers, about your products. Follow process and modify process, and you'll find the path to success. In truth, you will never go past your team. And what I mean is, the people that work for you, the people who work with you, will set your limits, but they will also expand those limits if they are competent. Learn to use them where they're appropriate. Learn to hire them and fire them as is appropriate, and learn to make them part of the same exact set of goals that you have. Your goal is a team that knows what it's doing and does its job without a lot of input from you. When you start to hire them with that viewpoint in mind. And if you do that, you will find that you have a lot of free time to go and do your job, which is to expand the company and grow it. Don't be afraid to hire people smarter than you. In fact, I've spent all of my career hiring people that were smarter than me. And smarter may not be just pure intellect. It may be the ability to do a particular task. Always hire the best person you can. Don't be afraid of people who have a greater skill in a particular area than you do. If they didn't, you wouldn't be hiring them. If you want a software engineer and you're not a programmer, hire the best one you can get your hands on. And don't be afraid of his or her ability. The same should apply everywhere across the board. Build the best team you can with the greatest set of skills you can possibly accrue, and don't be afraid of giving them their responsibility.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
You always want to hire the best people for the job that you possibly can. And the reason for that is because then they will do their job. You won't have to do it. You'll be freed up to do your job, which is to grow and expand the company. Learn to do this, and then learn to leave them alone, except for providing general guidance on the direction the company is going. And you will find you have a lot of time for doing very creative things. The way of measuring success in a company is how much money is it taking in because people are buying the product. Keep that in mind. That is your focus. It is not press on the news. It is not being invited on Joe Rogan. It is not likes on your YouTube channel. It is revenue coming into the company. That should be your standard, and growing that should be your goal. And the way that is done is by sticking to the business of the company, which is to build good products and then sell them. It is a standard problem with entrepreneurs that they follow the next shiny object. After all, that's the nature of being creative. Your mind sees an awful lot of opportunities and wants to follow them. The problem is you can usually only follow 1 or 2 opportunities of the 50 that you thought were great ideas. They may be great ideas, but they're not great ideas now. Follow 1 or 2 goals and you'll be much more successful. Follow 50 and you'll get nowhere. I want to share with you something that I've been working on for a long time that is very important to me, and that is a Discord channel for business. On it, there will be a lot of free information, but also access to me. So you can have the ability to ask me questions, and I can respond to your particular problems and difficulties, and also help you get started. I'm really looking forward to being able to interact with you individually on there. I look forward to seeing everybody on there, and I will be waiting for you. Now, let's get back to our video. Every time you peel off a layer, there's another layer below it. It gets more and more and more complicated, and it takes more and more knowledge of special areas. If you try to concentrate on 50 things, you've got 50 onions to peel, and you'll never succeed in doing it successfully. It's difficult enough to follow one set of goals to completion, much less multiple ones. You will never be successful by trying to do what somebody else is doing. First of all, you're not them. Second of all, your skill set is not their skill set. Find your own goals and set them into the company and build on that, and you will find you're much more likely to be successful. Learn to pay attention to where the money is actually coming from, because that is the market's acceptance of what you're trying to do. Get rid of product lines that are not bringing in revenue if they've had enough time to develop that revenue and haven't succeeded in doing it. Be willing to prune. It's better to sell one product really well than to sell 2 or 3 products poorly. And it certainly is impossible to sell 50 unless you got them in place and followed procedures to get there and have all the structure in place to do that. And that takes a long time to do. Don't try to start there. If you follow shiny objects, you'll fail. Be ruthless. Cut out the things that are not working. Prune the branches that are not producing the good fruit. Do this without conscience of how you're doing it. Don't worry about what other people think when you drop a product line. You're doing it in order to make the surviving product lines have more of your attention, more of the team's attention, and better chances of success. Once you learn to do that, all the fears you have that, oh gosh, maybe this one someday would have been successful, will go away. Know your numbers, the corporate numbers of finance. Know them like your life depends on it, because your corporate life does depend upon them. I have unfortunately worked for CEOs that could not tell you what it costs to acquire a customer and why they were losing customers, because it's always much harder to acquire a customer than it is to keep one. Focus on where your revenue is coming from. Understand what your burn rate is. When are you going to run out of money? Is it next week? Do you have enough money to accomplish the tasks before you? I know someone who's working on a construction project, and I asked, what is the amount of money it will take to complete this? And I got no idea. And my question is, why the hell are you making this go in the first place if you don't know where you're going? Because you may run out of money in the middle of it, and all the money you've spent to date will be wasted. Don't let that be the case with you. Go after your goals as though your life depended on it, because your corporate life does. If you don't have the various facts, the things that bring the money in, the things that control the money and that track the money, if you don't have those under control, you're gambling, and that's a way to failure. That doesn't mean you have to know how to be a good accountant. It means you have to have hired a good accountant, you need to listen to that good accountant, and you need to be able to ask the right questions of that accountant and be able to report to the board, to other people, to the financial press when you need to. That's the important success here, and that's true not just in accounting. It's true in legal, it's true in corporate building of products, it's true in dealing with your board. All of those things are true. You don't have to have the skill yourself. You have to have an understanding of how to control the skill in others. That's the secret to success. Numbers don't lie. And people often wish that they would, because they want to hear that everything's going well and everything's going to be a success. In entrepreneurship, things are rarely going well, and they're rarely going to be a success unless you pay close attention. So learn how to pay close attention. Learn how to make the numbers work for you, and you'll find your company is much more likely to be successful. As the entrepreneur, you can either be in the way or you can be the facilitator. You can either make things work or you can screw it up really royally. The best way to screw it up royally is to not delegate. Hire good people. people who know their jobs, and then let them do their jobs. Learn to delegate. That's the hardest thing an entrepreneur learns. I know. I screwed up at it several times before I actually learned to trust my people enough to let them do their jobs. So how do you acquire a team that works together well, with each person doing his or her own job in a way that fits in with the company goals? The answer is, you train them in that direction, you let them make mistakes, but not ones that will be fatal for the company. You correct those mistakes, because that's your job, and you re-aim them to the company goals. And if you do that, if you let them make mistakes, if you let them interact with each other, if you let them achieve goals, small pieces at a time, you'll find that they can achieve goals, larger pieces at a time. You can set less and less immediate goals and more long-term ones and be successful at it. What is your job as a CEO? Your job is the leader of the company, and this manifests itself in many ways. The first and possibly the most important way it manifests itself is in corporate culture. What kind of company are people working for? What do they think of when they think of the company? Is it hard charging? Is it family friendly? It can be any of those things, as long as it's that consistently with always the goal of making it a successful company in the leadership's position in full view. So you built the company. Well, what got you to that successful place where you're running well won't get you to the next step. And don't keep trying the same thing over and over. That's the definition of insanity. You need to build a solid team, and that team needs to do its job. You need to have a solid market understanding, and you need to sell into that market. And those things change all the time. You need to grow into the role of being the kind of person who can lead a company in those positions. You don't have to know everything. You just have to keep your hand on everything and watch it and aim it in the same direction. Most entrepreneurs that fail don't fail because they didn't get started, because that's what they've successfully built something. It's that they didn't grow into the role as the role evolved. And you have to take a hard look at yourself, more so than at any employee. Are you adequate for the job? And if not, step aside. You still have your stock, after all. The question isn't, can your business grow? The question is, can you grow and grow along with it?